Welcome to Tea with Tanya. I'm your host, Tanya Ambrose, an average millennial navigating life as a maternal health professional, nonprofit founder, and grad student. Join me in the tea tasting room where we spill the tea on finding balance and promoting positive living while doing it all. Hey friend, welcome back to another episode of Tea with Tanya. Thank you for joining me here in the tea tasting room. I hope you would have done something good for yourself the last time we met here, which was a week ago. So I hope you did something for self-care. Anyway, let's get into today's episode. Before we get into it, the tea of the week came highly recommended from a faithful listener, a favorite visitor to the tea tasting room, and her name is Lakeisha, aka Lala. She recommended this mango pineapple ginger tea from Good and Gather, which I think is a Target brand. So I decided to try it because she was adamant that I did. So I decided to try it. So if you are listening, Lala, thank you for the recommendation. And for those of you listening, if you are listening and you have a tea that you want me to try, be sure to send me a DM, email, whatever your mode of communication is to me. Send it to me and I will be sure to try it and share it with the tea tasters listening. But anyway, the tea of the week is mango pineapple ginger tea, and it's from the Good and Gather brand. And it's just really with a bunch of extra vitamins to help boost your immune system. And we know we are approaching the cold and flu season, so it is the perfect tea. The flavor is really good. I actually do like it. That mango, pineapple, and ginger, it's really good. And of course, me being the island girl that I am, it's warming to my spirit, to my soul. I just love the taste. It's just rich. So today's tea is the mango pineapple ginger tea. And I mean, it's giving you an excuse for you to go to Target, because why not? Why the heck not? But anyway, we are back with another episode, and I am going to be diving into a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is pouring from an empty cup. Because let me tell you, I can write a book, I can write a thesis statement, I can have an entire episode talking about pouring from an empty cup, like the one that we're talking about today, but this could be like a 3-hour episode, and I'm not going to do that to you when it comes to pouring from an empty cup. So let's get into it. Have you ever found yourself constantly giving to others, whether that's at work, in your relationships, or even in your community, until you feel or felt completely drained? Like, have you ever found yourself feeling that way? To the point where you have to go home, just sit and be still, just to try and unwind from just giving your all and constantly giving to others. I mean, I know I have. Like I said, I can write an entire book about this. I know I have. And I think that is a common experience that many of us go through. So today we're going to explore why it happens, and most importantly, how we can avoid that, because we are no longer in that era or that season of our life. It's all about us and looking about ourselves, taking care of ourselves. It is not selfish, but we're in the era where we're in our leveling up era. It's all about pouring into ourselves before we are pouring into others. So first, let's unpack why so many of us find ourselves pouring from an empty cup. I think, we live in a world that often glamorizes or glorifies busyness and self-sacrifice. And we're told that being selfless is a virtue. In what world? And while that is true, I will say to an extent, that can also lead to burnout if taken to an extreme. And I think I've experienced that when, you guys know, I'm in grad school, I have my podcast, I'm a founder of a nonprofit organization that I am completely 1,000% dedicated to and want to see succeed. And I'm constantly thinking about giving to others, whether it's those in the community, whether it's the family, friends, whatever it is, and that can lead to burnout. And I will just share a personal story. I think I experienced true burnout for the first time. I feel like I've had burnout before, but I wasn't able to recognize that until my therapist told me. But I think I truly experienced burnout this year for the first, when I was pouring my all. I had just started back, grad school. I was doing my maternal and child certificate program. I was planning my nonprofit organization health and wellness event that was in Antigua, in my home country. I was just doing the absolute most. And sometimes I like to joke when someone asks me, what do you do? And I would be like, the most. And then we'll just laugh, because it is true. But when I say that, it is not coming from a place from a negative standpoint. It's just that I really do the most, you know? And I remember when I got back from Antigua, I told myself, okay, I'm going to take a 2 weeks, or I'm going to take the rest of the month of June off, because why not? I think I deserved it. I'm going to take the month of June off. And before you know it, I literally just started getting back into full founder mode, literally in the month of September. And even then, while I was on my break, I felt really bad. But as I was going through the motion and I was talking to my therapist, I'm like, the things that usually bring me joy, the work that I'm doing for my nonprofit, it still brings me joy. Don't get me wrong. But at the time, it was a bit more difficult for me to do these tasks versus when, it would come to me naturally and easily and bring me true joy. And now it was becoming a little bit difficult for me to do. I had to force myself. And she was like, that could also be a case of burnout. So I just decided to take the rest of July and into August off so I can really recalibrate my mind and just really, really, truly focus on pouring into me. And that's why the theme of this season is about healthy man, healthy body. Before we spoke about our wellness journey in previous seasons, but I really had to be intentional when it came to my self-care, my self-love, and truly, genuinely pouring into myself. Because one thing about me, I'm a pour into somebody else. Let me tell you, I will sit here, I will pour, the cup will be draining. It will be the last drop in my cup. And I will pour that into someone else. And part of that in the earlier part of my life, late teens, early 20s, well, I was just say early 20s, was because I was seeking likability, because I was seeking or buying friends or wanted to be liked by everyone. That was one of the reasons why I was doing that. But of course, as you get older, you realize, okay, I can pour, but my cup needs to be filled or full before I can pour into somebody else, because it is draining and it's very hard when you are pouring into someone else and it's not being reciprocated. I think that's probably why we become burnout, why we become frustrated. We probably become, resent certain people, because we are pouring into our relationships. We are pouring into our jobs. We're pouring into our community. Of course, community could mean so many different things when it comes, there's different levels to community. So I'm just going to leave that there. But we are so busy pouring into different individuals that sometimes when it's not reciprocated in relationships where it should be reciprocated, I'll put it that way, it can become frustrating and we can end up just resent that individual, resent the situation. And we don't want to continue to do that. So we're going to definitely make sure that we are pouring into ourselves. So let's unpack why so many of us find ourselves pouring from an empty cup. And I think for me, I was using me giving and pouring as a way to tie it to my worth. I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, but it's like I was tying how often I was giving, who I was giving to, or just pouring, giving, leaving myself completely empty, completely drained. I was tying that to my worth. But you know what? I am personally no longer going to tie my worth to what I have to offer others. And I think I have a lot to offer others. When I say, I'm talking to you, we come to the tea tasting room every week. I am providing you some sort of value. In my opinion, I hope you find what I'm telling you valuable. But I am the cheerleader. I'm the biggest cheerleader in anyone whose lives that I'm in. I am the biggest cheerleader. I'm going to get you over that hump. I'm going to invest in you, whether that's my time, my energy, my listening ear, whatever it is, I am going to offer that to you because I want to make sure that you are living your best life, that you are reaching or maximizing your full potential. But I realized that I could no longer continue to tie my worth to what I have or what I had to offer others. I realized that I had to take care of myself in order to give to others. I had to take care of myself in order to give to others. So how about this? How about you fill your cup for you? Don't attach you pouring into others to your worth. How about you fill your cup for you? Like, to me, I love being of service to others. That's one of the reasons why I founded and have my nonprofit organization. It's why I'm in the job or the field that I'm in. I love being of service to others. Like when I was younger, people, we used to have these pageants back in Antigua and they'll ask you, tell us about yourself or why are you doing certain things? And I used to be like, I'm doing this because I want to be of service to others. That was part of my introductory speech. But I meant it. I love being of service to others. I love empowering others. But I have experienced burnout, like I mentioned earlier, from giving to others. So sometimes you have to take care of yourself for you. It's like I don't have a child, but it's like when you're being pregnant, we as a doula or someone working in the maternal health, sometimes we tend to gear towards telling the pregnant mom or pregnant woman, you need to be eating healthy or you need to be eating nutritious meals. You have to take care of, so you can take care of your baby that you're growing inside of you. You want to be physical. You want to be active. You want to walk. You want to get your steps in again so that you can ensure that, baby can come out when it's that time. I mean, of course it's going to come out, but, baby can come out because being physical, being active is going to give you a much smoother or better labor. That's what the notion is out. And while nothing is wrong with that, of course, you want to make sure that you're doing the best that you can to take care of your baby. Why not do it for yourself? Or why not change the narrative and say, let me do this for myself? For those of us who are not pregnant or have kids, for me, I'm on this health and wellness journey. I'm priming my body for when it's time for pregnancy. But so that's one of my reasons why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for me so that I can be I can be a great vessel for when it's time for me to carry a child. I'm doing it because I want to have a better mental health. I want to have a better physical appearance. Like I am loving my body that I have now, even though I may have gained a pound or 10, but I am loving my body. And I realize that as I continue to work out, I'm going to get more tone. I'm going to have the body that I've envisioned in my adult life. So again, when you're doing these things, do it for yourself, because sometimes we tend to do it because we live in a world with social media. Sometimes many of us are competing with our peers, and it's like, no, do it for yourself. So again, that analogy, when you're pregnant, you got to eat for the baby. You got to be physical for your baby. Do it for yourself. And although that may sound selfish, I think we earn the right to be selfish. I want to be selfish. I get to be selfish when it comes to me because I cannot get away from who I am as a person. I cannot get away from myself. People come, material things come, people can go, but I have to live with myself until it's time for me to leave this place. So when I think about filling my cup up, it's because I don't want to continue to run on empty. And believe you me, I've been on empty far too many times than I can count, than I even like or even imagine. Okay. I personally don't like who I am when I'm tired. I'm unburnt out. I'm not the same person. My sisters can tell you. They can tell you when Tanya is tired, when she's burnt out. Her attitude is not the same. She's of no fun. I do not like who I am when I'm extremely exhausted or tired and burnt out. So you definitely want to make sure that you are pouring into yourself. Pouring into yourself. Because to be honest, for the last couple months now, if you've been listening to the podcast, I will say my cup has been full. And the reason why I'm saying that, I didn't realize that my cup was full until recently, because I've been really intentional about loving me, getting to know me. After you go through life and you have certain experiences and you look back and you're like, why did I put up with certain things years ago? Or how is that making me feel as a person? Again, the constantly giving. It can be a lot. And the last 7 months, as I started this wellness journey, I will say I have not been perfect, because I am not perfect. Sometimes you fall off, sometimes you fall on, sometimes you may spill that cup. It can just look differently for you. But for the last 7 months, my cup has been full. I've really been investing. I've been so invested in my journey when it comes to self-love, self-care, even my healing journey as well, for the most part. But that sometimes can be challenging. But my cup right now is so full that because of that, I am now seeing that there's a spillage. There's this, like, the cup is overflowing, more or less. And when the what's pouring out from that cup is what others or what everyone can get. They're able to get that excess. So let's say, you pour in a cup of tea, you may pour too much, you have enough that it's overflowing. You can pour some in another cup and give it to someone else. And that's how we should think. We should think about it. Focus on filling your cup, pouring into yourself as you on this self-love, this self-care journey. And then whatever the excess is, everyone else can get that from you. Because think about it, when my cup is full, or what is in my cup is for my genuine happiness, for my peace, and for my joy. So think about it that way. Fill in your cup, because what's in your cup is for your peace, it's for your joy, it's for your happiness, it's your abundance, for whatever it is that you may have asked for. Because the idea that we are worthy based on what we do and how we serve others can be very, very exhausting. And like again, I say, sometimes we get caught up in the wanting to give to others, wanting to do this because we want to be somebody's favorite, or we just want to make sure that we're serving that person. And nothing is wrong in serving others, because when I say I love serving others, I think even coming to here in the tea tasting room, I am serving you. I'm sitting behind the mic, I am talking, I am having a conversation with you. That to me is serving and sharing with you, and it's giving back to you. But I cannot do what I'm not going to do. I'm not willing anymore to give more than what I have. I don't want to have to take what's in my cup to give to others. I don't want to have to take what's from my own cup. That means that's taken away from my needs and what I need to do, or what I can or should be doing to give to others. It's not to benefit somebody else. If it's not benefiting me, I really can no longer continue to do that. It's just not, I can't. And I feel like we've been conditioned to believe that we need to keep pouring into others. We need to keep giving back to others, and then put ourselves on pause, or put our lives on pause, or put our needs to the side just to give back to others. And we can no longer subscribe to that way of living. Like my worth is not tied to what I'm going to do for someone else. And I've had to learn that the hard way. Because to me, I have very big goals. I have very big goals when it comes to the type of life I want to live, what legacy I want to leave. As I'm elevating in my life, in that elevation period, I'm starting to think about what my legacy could look like and what I'm trying to build for myself, for my family. But that comes from the excess of what's in my cup, because I'm family oriented. My sisters, my family, my parents, they're my lifeline. But I've also had to distinguish, again, pouring into myself so that I can be the best sister, I can be the best aunt, I can be the best daughter to the best friend, probably the best girlfriend to anyone. But it comes from the excess content that's in my cup. So I encourage you to keep your cup full and just share the excess. Stop running on E in the name of giving to somebody else or to others. Don't be running on E. The price for gas is literally too high. We can't afford to be running on E while trying to please others. Focus on keeping your cup full so that it's spilling excess for other people. And, watch how your life change. And that's coming from someone who's known to pour. And I've been using that energy and time to pour into myself. And that's what I've been using that excess for, to pour into others. So watch how your life can change as you continue to pour into yourself and then pour in to others with the excess. Because the truth is, essentially, if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't effectively take care of others. It doesn't get any realer than that. Like I said, it's like driving a car with an empty gas tank. You're not going to get very far. I mean, I don't care how much you know your car and how far your car can go. If that gas tank is empty, you're not going to get very far. So I do want to share some insights and tips to help you avoid pouring from an empty cup. These are some of the things that I've been doing, and I want to share that with you. First thing I want to tell you is that self-care is not selfish. It is not selfish. It is crucial to understand that it's not selfish. I don't care what anybody tell you. It's essential for your well-being and your ability to be there for someone else, your ability to be there for others. So definitely make your self-care a non-negotiable part of your routine. Me, I'm a morning person. I'm going to be up early because I think I can get most of my work done. But with the different things that I'm juggling, sometimes I'm going to bed late. I'm going to say get up early in the morning because my body's just going to do what it wants to do. But it doesn't matter how late I am done doing something for school, work, whatever it is, I am going to set aside legitimately 15 minutes of my time to read a book, do whatever it is that's pouring into myself, whatever it is for my self-care. That's taking a bath, that's taking a shower, that's doing my skincare routine, that's reading my self-love book that I have that's pouring into me. It's a non-negotiable. I don't care what time it is, I'm going to get it done. Even on the days where I feel lazy, I have to push myself, get uncomfortable by pushing myself to do what I said I'm going to do as part of my routine. So this could be something as simple as setting aside time, like I said, each day for you to do something, a hobby, or for you to just take a long bath or just sit and be still. Nothing is wrong with even sitting and being still as well. The next thing you want to do is prioritize your needs. You want to know your limits and prioritize your own needs. Learn to say no when it is necessary. And that is coming from me again. Take it from me. Learn to say no when it's necessary. You get to decide when you want to commit to something or when you want to decline a request. Just simply because you can't handle it at the moment. Again, it's all about not being overly available to others. But you want to also, if you are going to be available, you want to make sure that you are fully present. And it doesn't make sense for you to say yes to something where you can't be fully present or engaged. So definitely prioritize your needs and know what you need to do. Like for instance, today someone sent a message requesting something that I needed to do. And I didn't have the brain capacity to even listen to that voice note at the time. I went about my day. It was an overwhelming day, did what I had to do. And then when I listened to what the voice note said, and my response during that time was not the best response. I mean, I did respond well, but how I received that message wasn't the best. And when I took the time, when I was in a much better space in the evening and I read over that message or listened over that message, I was able to receive that message in a much different way. So you definitely want to prioritize your need and know when you're able to respond or acknowledge or commit to anything so that you can be fully present and be engaging. You also want to set boundaries. We always talk about boundaries. Boundaries are going to be your best friend. We definitely have to establish clear boundaries in all areas of your life. Again, as I say, you want to establish clear boundaries in all areas of your life, whether that is setting work hours, defining your personal space, or even communicating your limits in relationships. Boundaries are essential. They definitely help you or help to prevent you from depleting your energy. And that's a lot, because I'm big on energy, and I'm telling you, when we don't have boundaries, it takes a lot from you. You also want to do regular check-ins. Take time to check in with yourself regularly. One thing about me, I'm going to check in with myself daily in that shower. That nighttime shower, let me tell you, the conversation that shower wall has gotten from me, you'll be surprised. So you definitely want to take time to check in with yourself regularly. Ask yourself, how are you feeling physically, mentally, even emotionally? These are questions that I've asked myself every night while I'm taking a shower. I think that with doing that, it'll help you to catch the signs of burnout early, or even assist you or help you to adjust your self-care routine accordingly. So that's how I was able to figure out that I was somewhat being burned out from a mental standpoint, because the questions that I was asking, the answers that was coming up, even some of the questions I couldn't even answer. And as I took it to my therapist, we worked through it, and I realized that I was experiencing burnout at one point in time. So definitely do regular check-ins with yourself as well. You want to recharge and you're going to refill. Just like a cup needs to be refilled, you do need to recharge. So I know we're here, we come to the tea tasting room to recharge and refill our cup, but you do need to recharge regularly. That can be journaling. That's one thing I'm going to do, spending time outside. You can do meditation. It could just simply be sitting down, resting, and just being still. You want to find activities that nourish your soul and give you the energy so that you can continue to fill that cup so it can overflow, so you can give to others. And then, you also want to seek out support. That's one thing I would say. Even though we're going through our journey, don't be afraid to lean on your community, that support network for you. That could be your friends, your family. It could be peers. It could be mentors. Just lean into that so that they can provide you with some insights as well, a listening ear when you're going through a period of pouring from an empty cup when you're struggling. And I think sometimes we think that asking for help is a sign of weakness. Let me tell you, I was that person. Sometimes I think I'm still that way, to be honest. But I'm now learning to communicate my needs and asking for help if I need to. Like the shame or the stigma that is attached to helping is slowly being removed from my life. Because if I need help, you best believe that I am going to freaking ask you for that help. And then think about mindful giving. Like when we're giving to others, we want to do it mindfully and intentionally, because too many times we're giving to get back sometimes. We got to be mindful of that. You want to be present in the moment and give from a place of abundance, not lack. Let me say it again. Give from a place of abundance and not lack. Too many times I have given from lack. Now that I'm in my abundant era, or I'm getting towards that, I'm able to give because, again, that cup is filling, it's overflowing, and I'm able to be the best version of myself, and I can give now without the expectations of getting back or giving from a place of lack. So you want to make healthy choices as well. And then the last thing, learn to let go. And as I'm telling you this, I'm just chuckling because this was a lesson that it's a work in progress. I'm still learning. Learn to let go of the need for perfection. I was told I'm a perfectionist. I'm an overachiever. I don't think I'm a perfectionist, but definitely learn to let go of the need for being perfect. You don't have to be everything for everyone. As we say, I'm not going to always be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. You're going to make mistakes, and that's going to be okay. And it's okay to also take a step back when needed, which is what I did after I returned from Antigua back in June. That step back lasted 2 months, and that's okay because I was able to embrace my imperfections and just embrace the fact that, you know what, I'm going through a challenging time. I'm burnt out. Let me use this time to pour into myself and recharge so that when my battery on my cup is filled, I'm just going to keep going and nothing or no one is going to stop me from doing or going after my goals or my dreams, you know? So definitely remember that you are not perfect and you can accept and embrace your imperfections. And as I get ready to go, I want to let you know that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's essential. By filling your own cup, you'll have more to give to the people and causes that matters to you. We spoke about community earlier. So as you fill in your cup, the excess that you have from pouring into your cup, you'll be able to give more to those people and the causes that matter to you. Prioritize your self-care, set boundaries, and remember that you deserve love and care too. And I do want to say that, I hope this episode, you were able to resonate with this episode and it makes you think about why you want to take care of yourself, why you want to love yourself, why you want to pour into your cup more and more. And again, use that excess to pour into others. And that's something that I hope you take away from this episode. As I leave you here in the tea tasting room, as we say our final goodbye for this week, I do want to leave you with this affirmation, which I would have mentioned it earlier, but I do want to point this out. And that affirmation for this week is going to be, I'm no longer going to tie my worth to what I have to offer others. And I'll say it again. I'm no longer going to tie my worth to what I have to offer for others. I will see you here in the tea tasting room next week. I hope you found this episode valuable. I hope it was able to resonate. And as you go about your day and you go about your week, you ask yourself how or why you are going to or want to pour into yourself. I'll see you here in the tea tasting room next week. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Tea with Tanya. If you like this episode, be sure to share it with a friend. Don't forget to follow on Instagram at Tea with Tanya Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the weekly Tea Talk newsletter. And of course, rate on Apple or Spotify and subscribe wherever you listen. See you next time. I love you for listening.